Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today to kind of do a follow-up to a previous video I did about book bans and that they weren't happening. That was specifically for Florida, but I saw this Daily Signal article and I did read it on the day it came out here, May 11th. I don't remember a lot about it. Other things have happened since then, so we will go into this right now. So it says, our school libraries banning thousands of books. Here's why you shouldn't trust the left's narrative. Probably shouldn't in general anyway. So, article says, what we're seeing here is a resurgence of widespread censorship in America. Nadine Fareed Johnson recently told the Wall Street Journal. Johnson is the Washington director of PEN America, PEN being in capitalized, so that apparently stands for something. Hopefully I'll find out what that is, because I do not know. And co-author of its report claiming to identify 2,532 books banned in public schools during the 2021-2022 school year. PEN America advocates on behalf of poets, essayists, and novelists, and it shows its report is almost as fictional as the work of the writers it represents. Ooh, this should be juicy. It says, it is simply false that 2,532 books were removed from schools during the 2021-2022 school year. We know this is false because we examined online card catalogs and found that 74% of the books PEN America identified as banned from school libraries are actually listed as available in the catalogs of those school districts. Wow, so they're wrong 3/4 of the time. That's a bad ratio. There's in many cases we would see that the copies of those books are currently checked out and in use by students. So they're really wrong about this. Okay, not only are those books there, but people are actively checking them out and reading them, or just checking them out. But either way, they're there. It says, among the books that PEN America alleges were banned are classic works such as Anne Frank's Diary, Brave New World, Lord of the Flies. Isn't Lord of the Flies like just required reading? It was when I was in high school. There's Mice and Men, same with that. The Color Purple and To Kill a Mockingbird, so was that. So in every school district in which PEN America alleges those books were banned, we found copies listed as available in the online card catalog. For example, PEN America claims that To Kill a Mockingbird was banned in libraries and classrooms in the Edmond Public School District in Oklahoma. Edmond's card catalog indicates that the library has 10 copies of the book, 2 of which were checked out at the time we looked. Wow, so not only are they wrong, but they're about as wrong can possibly be about that. So, PEN America suggests that racism is a major factor driving censorship. Of course they did. So, okay, yeah, here we go. So this is the fun part. Naturally, you bring that up, and my eyes just rolled. You probably could hear my eyes roll. It was so loud. But let's keep going. It says, the organization reports that 659 banned book titles, which is 40%, contain protagonists or prominent secondary characters of color, and 338 banned book titles, that was 21%, directly address issues of race and racism. All right, so the book The Hate You Give, which was inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and primarily features black characters, is listed as one of the most frequently banned books, reportedly removed from more than a dozen public school libraries during 21-22. I've heard of this book. I've never actually read it, and I'm pretty sure there's a movie about it too, and I remember reading the summary of the movie, and it just sounded like it was going to be a movie that was simply just, just a completely polarized movie, just with one side it's skewed towards very much one side of the political spectrum, which, of course, since it's inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement, that's going to be 100% correct. So let's keep going here. It says, but when we examine the online card catalogs in those school districts, we find copies of The Hate You Give available in every one of them. For example, PEN America says that The Hate You Give was banned in Goddard Public Schools in Kansas, yet that district's card catalog lists 9 copies of the book. 3 were checked out at the time we examined it. Similarly, the book was supposedly banned from the Indian River School District in Florida, but the card catalog shows that in that district shows 20 copies available, with several checked out. We were unable to find 26% of the books that PEN America claimed were banned in school district card catalogs, but that doesn't necessarily mean those books were banned. Given how sloppy and error-prone the PEN America report is, it's unclear whether the books we were unable to find in school district card catalogs had ever even been listed and then removed. In addition, many of the books we were unable to find in card catalogs were works that would strike most reasonable people as unlikely to be age-appropriate for school libraries, and this is the part that I was thinking. So these are works like Gender Queer, which is kind of the tip of the spear of this whole thing. Flamer, that's the name of an actual book. All right. It's not about the Human Torch. All right. So there's another one called Lawn Boy. I don't even want to know. Fun Home. and it's perfectly normal, changing bodies, growing up, sex, and sexual health, either contain images of people engaged in sex acts or graphic descriptions of those sex acts. Yeah, so if anybody ever comes up to you and says, why are you for banning books? This is what they generally come to, is works like this that show essentially pornography in them to children. So your response should already be to those people is just, well, why do you think it's okay to show porn to children? And if they start going, you don't know what you're doing, show them just one of these books, especially genderqueer, because I have seen images from that, and yes, it's pornographic, and it's meant to be for early teenagers. Okay, like, would you show pornographic material to, like, just in general? Would you sit down with like your 12-year-old and watch adult movies with them? Probably not. So then ask them why it's okay to show this stuff to them. I mean, it isn't. So article goes on, says people who don't want these books available to children in school libraries aren't book banners. That's correct. It says, and people unwilling to defer to the unilateral authority of teachers and librarians to decide what children should have access to without democratic oversight or parental input are not fascist. That's correct, because these people don't know what these words mean that they use. Okay? That's not fascistic to say, I don't want my kids to look at porn in their school. Okay? I urge you, folks on the left who hear this, if you do, to go look up what this word means, because you keep using it wrong. Okay? Try again. It says, determining what books are age appropriate and educationally valuable enough to be purchased and kept in school libraries is inherently contentious even among well-intentioned people, but having a productive process for adjudicating these disputes is rendered impossible by false and hysterical claims from organizations like PEN America that there is widespread censorship in America. The vast majority of books allegedly banned from school libraries haven't been banned at all. That's correct. I mean, they said at the beginning it was like 74%, so 3/4 of them. That's not good. I mean, I can understand if you're doing writing up an article and it turns out like a small percentage there's an error on, like, oh wait, we said these were banned but they weren't. But when 3/4 of the books you're saying are banned are readily available to people, this isn't just a mistake. I think this is completely intentional. This is intentional lying here. So these folks just flat out lied in an article, and they were caught red-handed. So just to read the last paragraph here, it says, a more realistic description of the situation is that classic works of literature continue to be available in the libraries of virtually every school district. While we have some disagreements over a limited number of graphic works, that seems about right. So manufacturing a book banning crisis where none exists only serves to undermine public discourse and fails to protect democratic freedom. That's correct. So, if anybody comes to you and says, like, these books were banned, I didn't realize, maybe it's because this wasn't a thing when I was in high school or around a library, or went to a library very often. I don't even remember the last time I was in a library. I would check at that library's online card catalog, assuming they have one. I'm sure these days they do, and find out if it's actually there. And it looks like that probably is going to be the case, that the books in question are going to be there. So don't listen to these people, because they don't seem to know what they're talking about, which is pretty typical for the left. In any case, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.